There we are. So this one is going to utilize the same sort of an idea that we had when we were doing triangulation. Okay, we're not gonna plot the points out as much, but we are going to use some points, some beginning points and some ending points on that sort of a thing. So step number one in this technique is just identifying some points that you think are going to be interesting on that one. And we're going to do them all at once. We're not going to do them one at a time. And so I think if I know where this one was, maybe this guy over here. Obviously, I'm picking some of the key features that I figured if I'm doing the drawing would probably be helpful. And I'm going to pick a few of them. That's going to be helpful for me. This is helping me with the width down there. Maybe maybe the base right here too. Don't know if we can see that one quite as well. This one has kind of a different base than this one does. So where I think I'll go right here still. So hopefully you can see some of those red dots in there. Let's go back in, and maybe the blue is better for us. I was thinking the blue might be a little bit too dark, but maybe it shows up better. It looks like it might show up better on those. So I'm just picking a few places, 9 or 10 places that I think would be really cool to know about. Should I be trying to create this drawing, something like that. So that's step number one, is I'm just identifying those places on my reference photo. Let me grab a pencil. So now I need to transfer those places onto my drawing paper. Now this one is a little bit more intuitive on those, and so instead of trying to plot or plan it out, I'm just going to kind of be looking at this one here, and I'm going to start, let's say right here, and then I notice this other piece is kind of straight over from it, and so I'm going to go in and put that dot, let's say about right there. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit further. I'm going to say it's about right there because it looks about halfway. Then maybe drop down to this one here. And as what I'm doing is I'm looking at these ones and saying, well, that looks to be about right there. This one is going to go over lateral. Oh, this goes quite a ways out there, but that's okay. So I'm going to say that one is right there. And then I'm going to go back up to this one, okay? Because I'm just checking visually with that one, and I'm looking to see, yeah, does this look kind of like this one? Yeah. Does this one kind of look like that? I'm comparing those ones there. From here, I can go down to here. And a lot of times people will actually put in the lines on those rather than just the dots on that. And so I'm thinking maybe there, maybe there, maybe there, maybe there. I'm going to put it about right there. And then this piece is over here somewhere. Down a little lower. This one, the nice thing about some of these is they just kind of go, horizontally across on those. And so that's another good dot. Then I'm going to check to make sure this one is about right. This one kind of comes down. It's not quite in a straight line, but it looks like it might be here in a little bit, huh? There's that one. And then there's this one over here. And then from here, I'm going to kind of shoot up. That was the corner one. That was the top one over here. And so right underneath that one and down a little bit is this one over here that I needed to do. And so it was in a little bit from this guy. It looks like this guy needs to be over here somewhere because it's more underneath this one. And so that one goes a little bit wider. And so that one to that one is pretty good. Does this one need to come in a little bit? If I'm looking at this one, it's all straight up. Maybe so. If this one comes in a little bit here on that, and this one is over there, that's going to bump this one out just a little bit more on those. And so that is a little bit more there. This one, I'm going to double check this one with the top one. Like this wide one over here, right? I'm looking at these. These are kind of on top of each other. This one's out to the side a little bit. I'm going to widen this out a little bit here maybe bring this one in a little bit more here on those. And so this approach is a little bit more intuitive, you know, and so I do some comparing on these dots to make sure they're right on that. Make sure this looks like it's going up here. That looks good. This little piece compared with the top right here is like this, so that goes out a little bit. I'm going to make that a little wider. And so you just keep on comparing them back and forth until you finally decide, you know, it looks like everything is correct on those. And so there to there, that looks pretty good. I'm looking at this triangle here. That looks about right. This little piece there, this one comes down, this one goes way over there. Maybe in just a little bit more on that one. And there to there, here to here. That one I'm going to bring in a little bit more. What sort of line is that anyway? So they're almost, it's just indented just a little bit to the inside. And so this one is more here on that, comparing to this one. And so this one right there, this one's probably out just a little wider up here. And that's coming over here. And so this angle, you know, that one is the bottom. This one is corresponding with that one more. This one corresponding with this one. This is going to come in just a little bit more because of this one here. This is going to go just a little wider too. So maybe that, maybe that. And so by just making those comparisons, because you're only comparing the dots, right? You're trying to establish the relationship between these dots so that you can create your final your drawing. So now that I've plotted those out, I'm feeling pretty comfortable about those. I can come in and I can make my preliminary drawing. Like I know that that piece is going here, and this has some kind of does that, and then this piece is coming down here. It's coming to this dot is a rounded part here. Like that. This one has the other goblet part right here. And this one coming back like that, right? This one is kind of mirrors that one a little bit, cuts in a little bit more. This one appears to be a little straighter. I may have scrunched this one down a little bit. And what I may have had on this one is, as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking I may have, the paper, the dimensions are a little bit different, and I got sucked into that just a little bit. And then now this one was a little bit too wide, and so final adjustments as I'm making the drawing in and of itself, that's a good thing to do too. I guess the nice thing about these drawings is if the goblet's not perfect, nobody's going to, you know, come and arrest you. This has to go wider. Now we are going to use some, we'll be using our oil pastels for putting our values in, which is kind of cool. Now I haven't put this this assignment into the into Canvas yet because I just made it up today. So it'll take me a little bit of time to get that going. So in utilizing that I call this technique reach and grab because it's a lot like if you're, let's say you're making a peanut butter sandwich at your home, right? And so you're sitting in your home and you open up the cupboard. So you go up here and you grab the handle and you open up the door, you reach in, you grab the peanut butter, you pull the peanut butter out and you set it down, and then you open up the other side under there and then you reach in and you grab the loaf of bread and you pull the loaf of bread out and you set it on the counter. Now you didn't need a ruler and triangulation to compute where the bread was or where the peanut butter was. You just kind of did it naturally. You looked at it, said, I think it's about right there, I'm going to grab it, and then you pull it back here. This uses the same sort of an idea. Instead of calculating it out, you're being a little bit more intuitive on where things are, and you're placing them. And if you make a mistake, if you're reaching to grab the peanut butter and you accidentally you get distracted and you move your head over and you don't really grab the peanut butter, you'll look back and say, oh, now it's a little bit more to the left. That's where the peanut butter is. And so that's the idea of this thing. It's kind of a reach and grab, and you just make your drawings on that same sort of an idea, that same sort of a technique. This guy got a little thinner in here. And then you can just come by and you make some final checks. Now, when I was taught this technique, I think they did the triangulation first, and then they did the reach and grab after that. But normally, if you want to combine some of those, do the reach and grab technique first, and then do your check it with your triangulation. I think you'll find that you're pretty darn accurate with your reach and grab techniques, as opposed to not. And it'll be much more, like I said, intuitive on what's going on. So my goblets are a little bit more shorter and squatter than the picture itself, because I was going by this width and comparing it to this width. I wasn't counting for the sides a little bit on that one, but I think it'll still work out to be a decent drawing on those. Now I'm going to have a spot for you to upload your reach and grab drawing of the goblets here, the outline drawing. And then we'll have also have a space for you to upload the application of the values. And I do want to emphasize values. We are going to use different colors, but we're going to use colors according to their value a little bit more than just what color they are on those. So we can use some yellows, obviously, in this sort of a thing, but we're going to use yellow because it's light, not just because it's of its yellow color. And there may be some browns in there too, as we're looking at it. Okay, so now I have my goblets, my drawing of my goblets. I can photograph this one, I can upload it, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. Look at this one, that probably is a little bit sharper, huh? A little bit sharper coming down there. Anyway, so that's a reach and grab. Reach and grab.